Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management. And today we have Hope and Joey also joining us, members of our payment options team, to present with us today. We will be covering our payment options training. This webinar will cover adding users, taking a payment, sending payment requests, tracking activity, managing customers, viewing statements, subscriptions, a financing overview, and payment options on mobile. Again, this is for the payment options side of WEX. We'll do a live Q&A at the end where you will get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, Hope and Joey, take it away.
Hi, everybody. I'm Hope. So I'm going to start and then Joey's going to round us up here. Um, I'm hoping everybody can see my screen. Mark, can you please confirm for me?
Here, let me stop my share.
Okay.
And there we go.
I can see your screen,
Yeah,
Hope.
and for those of
Perfect.
you watching, if you could just throw a thumbs up or say, yes, I can see, just let us know that you can
Just to
see the
confirm.
screen.
Good.
Perfect. All right,
Oh,
everybody.
all right, great, great. Thank you, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So this is the payment options side of our system we'll be discussing today, as Mark just shared. And we are going to start with adding users. So to log in, you're going to go in through your browser, use your username and password. It's your email and password that's been set up for you. On the payment options side of our system, to add users, you would go to settings. So right over here, settings, and then payment options. From here, this is where you can add the humans that work for your business. On the payment option side of our system, you can have unlimited users. So from here, you would click add user. You would put in the user's first name, last name, their unique email address. So everybody needs a unique email address to log into the system. So you'd add that in there. Mobile phone number is optional, but if you want one place to track all the phone numbers, feel free to put that there. And then account type. On this side of our system, we use admin, office, and field users. You can have as many of each type of user as you want. So there's no limit. You can have multiple admins, office, and field users. A little bit about each type of user. Admin users are able to do everything in the system. They're able to see everything in the system. So in other words, they can take payments, they can offer financing, they can also see the payments and financing coming through. They're also able to see the statements monthly. They're the only ones in the system that are able to see the statements. Office users, those are trusted employees who generally will work from the office. They're able to take payments, offer financing. They're able to also see the payments and financing coming through. And they could specifically do things like refunds in your system if you allowed them to, some other special things under each user functionality. It's up to you. Field users are generally more like people who are out in the field. So, your sales guys, for instance, they're able to take payments, offer financing, but the biggest difference is that they're only able to see what they're doing in the system. So, they don't have visibility to your business, just what they're bringing to the table. Once you add the users, you're able to give them their usernames and passwords, and they're able to start using the system. They will use that password to not only log in through the browser, but more likely to use it to log in to their mobile devices. So they can use the WEX FSM mobile app, which Joey will talk about a little bit later, but it's the same username and password. So that's a little bit about adding users. Next, we're going to go to taking a payment. Taking a payment can be done in many ways. First of all, everything coming from your system will be coming from your business. So when you become or signed up for our program, we put your logo in here. So any receipts that come from the system will be coming from your business. Now, if you were in the office and you wanted to take a payment, you would come here to payment options, go to payments and process payment. Right from here, you're able to enter customers' information. So if a customer's never paid you before, you would simply just start entering their first name and last name here. If they have paid you before, you would be able to look them up because we will store your customers in here. So if I had, been a customer of yours before, you'd be able to look me up and come here, pick me. If not, you would add me as a customer. We suggest that when adding customers, you at least get their email address because it will then allow the system to send a branded receipt upon completion of the payment to your customer. Invoice is optional. So if you have another system on the payment side where let's say you use QuickBooks Online, a lot of our customers do, you can physically put a invoice number in there, right there. From there, you'd put in how much the customer is paying you, and then you would put in their information. So from here, you could type in their debit or credit card information. If you're signed up for check processing, you would be able to also enter their ACH information. So if you're not signed up for this, you won't see that as an option, and we can talk to you about adding it if you wanted it in the future. In our system, you are able to store account information. Our system is PCI compliant, so it's safe and secure. So you can ask a customer, hey, Mr. Customer, we're taking a $500 deposit today. Is it okay if I store that payment information? So when Mark comes out next week to do the install with the team, we'll have that on record and we can collect the balance. So once again, it would be stored in there. If today we were just taking the payment, we would click process payment and you'd ultimately get paid. We'll talk more about that in a second, but this would process that payment. As I mentioned, there's other ways to take payments. You can do it through your mobile devices and also through a link on your company's website. So those are other ways you can take payments through our system. Another feature that is very popular in our system is sending payment requests. So let's say your technician was out in the field and was supposed to pick up a payment today and the customer wasn't home. Well, you could send a payment request. So instead of having them drive back out, that's gas, time is money, all of those things, we could send a payment request. So once again, if the customer is already in the system, you would just come in here and look for them, or you'd add them as a new customer. But right from here, once again, you could put an invoice number if you wanted to. You could physically attach an invoice. You could put in, okay, this customer is supposed to pay us $450 today, and then send payment request. With this feature, you're able to allow the customer to pay in many ways. So you can allow them to pay by debit or credit, e-check, so giving them the option to do either, or if you just simply wanted them to pay by check, you could turn this functionality off. You have the ability to put a note in here saying, Mark was out today, was unable to pick up that check. If you can please use the secure link in your email to pay it, that would be great, but we can send that request. And once again, this will get sent directly to that customer's email and they can pay it. Internally, you're able to see those payment requests right here. So from here, you would see later on that your office person sent this. It is time-stamped with statuses. So you'll be able to see when a customer receives it, when they view it, and also when they pay it. If they don't pay it, you can also use this screen to resend it. So right from here, you can re-email it to that customer and it will populate at the top of this screen. In our system, when you add users, you will also see the ability to get copies of receipts. So you don't actively have to look into this screen. You can also get it. So, if Hope Manual paid you, you would get a notification of a copy of a receipt. So that's how that works. So that's simply taking payments. Now, tracking activity. In the office, you're able to go here and go to activity. This can also be viewed from the mobile app. From here, you can see statements. So I want to talk about that just briefly. Once a month, your statements for credit card processing and check processing will appear here. Your customer list. So as you take payments, the customers will live in the system. There'll be a customer list with names, their email addresses, the last time they paid you, all that great information. In addition, your transaction screen. From your transaction screen, this is where your accounts receivable will land. So whether people pay you from the office, you're taking payments over the phone, if they're paying you through the website link or through the mobile app. So if you're allowing your technicians to take payments in the field, you'll know in real time it's happening, and you can look here throughout the day. You can look at different date ranges, day, week, month, however you want to look at the money coming into your business. And you can see, depending on what products you're signed up for, you can break it down by different types of batches, or you can see all the money that's coming in a day. So, right from here, for example, we could pull up today. I'm going to pretend because this is a test system, but we can see here, if we pretend that this is January 30th, these would be our pending transactions right now. This would be how much each customer paid, the names of the customers that paid, and how the payments came through. Credit cards automatically batch at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. There's nothing you need to do. It's next business day funding. Checks, for example, will batch 2 business days. The first 2 deposits can take up to 5 business days. But if Joey was in the field today and took a payment from Ringo Starr and you're in the office, you would see this just like this. If he did a mobile check image, you can always click here, get more information on that transaction. So we could see that it's processed by Joey Kelly, and then the front and back image of that check is stored here. So this is a great tool for our contractors to utilize so they can see the money, where it's come from, and it's also searchable. So right from here, you can search by customers' names, amount, or even the technician that took the payment. So that's a little bit about activities. I'm going to throw this over to Joey now. He's going to talk about subscriptions, signing up for financing if you're not already signed up, and a little bit of a financing overview.
Thanks, Hope. To get to your subscriptions, you're going to go up here to settings, subscriptions, and then you're going to hit payment options, because what we're doing is mirroring what you guys have in your system. So in here, we actually have 6 different lenders. We have Synchrony, GoodLeap, GreenSky, Service Finance, Fortiva, Wells Fargo. So these are the lenders that we partner with. Each one of them has their own requirements. So depending on, time in business and certain requirements that these lenders have in place, you may or may not qualify for some of them. There should be the requirements listed below them, so you should have a good understanding of which ones you should qualify for. So, for example, obviously we have all of them connected, but if it didn't, you would be able to check this box, add your company information to it, and add them as a lender in your system. Another thing to note is the way that these things are handled are just a little bit differently operationally, which is good. It gives you a lot of control over how you're offering the financing and which kinds of loans that you guys are offering to your customers. So in order to do that kind of thing, once you have been approved with the financing options, you're going to go back up over your payment options here, down to financing, and then you would have access to all of the loans that are available to you guys. And then there's a couple of different ways that you can go about offering the financing. First and foremost, obviously, if you have a team of people that are doing financing in the field, you can obviously have that set up. So any of these loans that you select, that's going to be available to anyone in the office and anyone in the field. You're going to have all of the terms for every one of these as well. So you're going to know very well which the loans are you're offering as far as the terms, any of the APR percentages, and anything else that may be relevant to that particular loan. The second way that you can go about offering financing is through self-service. So self-service means that you have access to a link you can embed into like an email. You can put it on your website. And anyone that has that link has now access to this particular loan. And it is going to be dependent on all the loans that you guys have selected for self-service. There may be a situation where you don't want something on self-service, but you do want your sales team to be able to offer that. Maybe you're running a promotion like, hey, we're promoting 12 months no interest with payments for the first year, and then it flips to a 9.99 APR for the remainder of the term. Well, maybe I don't want people to know that that's available on my link. So I could just deselect it and I could run this promotion in-house. I'm not saying that is, pressuring people to do something, but it is something that you guys have control over. The other thing that you'll know is if there's any dealer fees associated with these loans. This is the fee that the lender is going to charge for the access of this loan. Think about it like buying down the percentage points. So banks are in it to always make money for them, no matter what happens, whether it be good or bad when it comes to that loan. So if I was doing a $10,000 loan with this one, it's going to be $900 fee. And they will net settle that for you guys when they pay you. So instead of paying you 10,000, they're going to pay you $9,100. That's just an example. But the reason I mention that is because when you look in here, you're going to have access to all the loans. You're also going to have access to all of this information, and you'll know exactly what the fees are. Okay. When it goes time to actually offering the financing, actually, I clicked on the wrong thing, I believe. No, I went to the right spot. So you can just as easily say, hey, Mr. Mark, I appreciate you having us come out here. This is what your air conditioning is going to cost, or your roof, or whatever you guys happen to be helping your customers with. And then you would have that drop down where you have the selected loans that you guys have picked out. You're going to have the individual lenders like broken down. So like these are the Green Sky loans that we have, Service Finance, Fortiva, so on and so forth. And if I was to just pick one of these, it's going to run the numbers for this particular loan with that price in here. So you would see exactly like I mentioned. Here's that plan cost, right? It was 9%, so it was $900. I'm going to get paid $9,100, just like I mentioned. But now I have the numbers that I can share with my customer. Hey, Mark, I appreciate your interest in using financing. Your monthly payment would be as low as $141. The terms are going to be 108 months long. You can pay this off anytime you want to. There's no prepayment penalty. But if you do choose to go past that 12-month intro period where there's no interest, then it is 9.99 after that. And he can choose that. That's the best loan for him. But while you're in here, you can choose any other loan with any other lenders that you have. It's just a drop down, select what you want to offer, and you can run the numbers through those ones as well. These applications are paperless, so this should be something very simple and easy and quick to do with your customers. If Mark's the one that he wants to sign up here, we're going to get his personal information, his name, his address, his contact information, and then the information that the lender's going to need to run his credit and verify if he's a good applicant and approve him. The application is only going to take a few minutes, right? Whatever it takes to input this. You can do this from your phone. You can do this through the mobile, like your browser, like I'm showing you. And once you've run this application, which should only take a minute, you should only have a minute or two wait to get a response. So this can be done literally in the field automatically, okay? All communications from the lender will go to that homeowner as well. They do have to accept that loan in order to move forward. So after you've had a loan submitted, you're going to have your dashboard. This is where all of your loans are going to live after an application. And you're going to see the status for every person. The other thing to know is if you needed a little bit more information about a particular loan application, you can hit this plus button. It'll give you a little bit more insight. It'll give you access to what loan they run, if there's anybody that helped them with it, and the status. So this is a really good tool because now you have one dashboard to rule all these lenders. You don't have to go worrying about logging in and out of different portals, nothing like that. Everything's going to be one spot for you. And you're going to have access to the status. And then also, this is how you're going to accept your payments. So when we did Mark's air conditioning, everything went smoothly. We're ready to submit payment to the lender. This is where we're going to hop in here. We're going to submit that payment to the lender directly, and then it's going to come directly into our bank account within 1 to 2 business days. So it should be very seamless, easy to do. Now, depending on the lender, there are instances where the homeowner does have to sign off that the work's been done, but it's typically just a link that they have to confirm. So Mark, I'm going to go ahead and submit this to our lender so that we're all good. You're going to get a little email link. All you have to do is confirm that it's been taken care of, and then we're all set, essentially. So it's very easy for you guys to manage from the office here. Once that's done, I mean, you guys are getting paid, so it's really not that much more that you need to worry about. Okay, cool. Let me switch over to the mobile so I can share what that looks like with you guys. So in here is the mobile app. This is what your technicians would be using in the field. And you can see when you log into the payment option, it's very simple because all you have is what you have access to. I have processing payments. I can set up payment plans. I have transaction activity. I have submitting loans. I have my dashboard and I have self-service links. The reason that we put it in here like this is so that if someone's like, hey, I don't want to put my information in someone else's phone or tablet or anything like that, we can actually just tap this, submit the self-service links, and I can share a payment or consumer financing link directly with that homeowner. So I can text or email it from my phone and then they can do it on their end as long as you have that self-service selected. But if I was to take a payment in the field, this is super easy because I can just click on that. If this is a new customer, like Hope was saying, it's very easy that I can add that customer directly right here by hitting new, putting that little bit of information that I am and saving them as a new customer. If it's an existing customer, it's just as easy for me to tap on them and then it's going to go right to the next. It's very intuitive and very easy to use. You should be able to train your team in a matter of minutes to get them up and running. But this is where we're going to put in, hey, Mark, we're going to take the $500 today. Whoops, 5,000. If we wanted to include an invoice number, I can. We have the information here that I can go ahead and set up to take payment. So now all of the options that you're going to have available to you are going to be available. So if you guys do have the card readers with us, you would have swiping payments available, right? If not, you would be able to enter that manually. You're going to put in that information on that card, process that payment directly. And as long as that email address is in there, they're going to get the email receipt directly sent to them. You can take a picture of a check in field. So if they actually hand you a check, you can take a picture front and back of it. As long as it's endorsed, it'll automatically convert it to a digital payment and process that. So you could actually save that check, hand it right back to your customer and say, thank you, we got everything that we need, and you can process that check that way. It's a little bit more secure that way as well. Now you don't have someone carrying a live check around. I know it would be an uncomfortable conversation if you had to go contact that customer after the fact and say, hey, we lost that check that you gave us for $500. So the other thing that you could do, just like Hope mentioned online, is you can actually just plug in their information digitally and run a payment. So if it was a checking account or savings account, you can plug that information in and process that payment directly. So as you can see, it's very easy to take a payment in the field. So that's what it looks like to use to process a payment. I don't know if Hope had mentioned that you can actually set up payment plans in here as well. That is something that we made it a little bit easier to do in here. So you can also set up a recurring payment monthly, quarterly, or annually. That is something that you could do. You say, hey, we have maintenance contracts. We're going to charge you $100 a year. You could set that up in here and it would run that transaction whenever you set it up on those recurrences. You can actually check your activity on here as well, as long as they have the the access. And then submitting loan applications also is very simple. So if I'm going to come in here and run a loan, you're going to get that calculator just like I showed you. You're going to have the drop down with just the loans that you guys have selected. So I can come in here and say, hey, I want to use this 6 months one. It's going to run those numbers for that particular thing. I can literally plug in whatever amount it is. Actually, that's not enough, but it's okay. There are minimums with some of these financing companies. That's why I said it wasn't enough. But as long as I have it in set up, it's going to break down that same stuff. So I can see the plan cost, I can see how much we're going to get paid, what their monthly payment looks like, the terms, the interest rate, all of that stuff's going to be disclosed so that you can seamlessly share this with your customers. Next would be the application, just like I showed you. They're going to get that information that they need to run the loan application through and approve them or decline them. Hopefully you're getting more approvals than not, so you guys can get paid from the financing as well. But like I said, it should only take a couple of minutes because you are using a mobile device. Last thing I'll show you is you do have access, and this is only for people they can see their own information. Like if I was a field user, I'm not going to have access to anybody else's information, but I would be able to see any of the loans that I have worked in my account. So that's a general overview of the mobile application. And I think that was the last topic that we are going to cover. So I think it's Mark, kick it
Yep.
back over to you and we
Yep,
can.
that's correct. So we are going to transition to our Q&A now, but before we do so, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining. My name is Mark, and this is Hope and Joey from our payment options team, and this has been the payment options training.